you have all individually received, through strange means, some stranger than others, a letter of acceptance inviting you to some academy. Nothing was specified too much in the letter, but included in the letter was this small gray glass orb that seemed to have, like, fog or something swirling in it. It was a very strange device, and the letter inside gave instructions to smash it on the ground, and then you'll be teleported to somewhere. And upon doing so, you were sort of engulfed in this big puff of smoke, including anyone who was standing around you at the time. Gale did shove it into his mouth. He knows how to be prudent.
Just a random person gets teleported with us.
We just like accidentally pick up some passerby on the street.
Should we roll to see if we accidentally
It's like an AoE.
Let's see.
The map doesn't showcase it, but this place is very packed and crowded with people. There are all sorts of people running around, all sorts of these strange people. Like, some of them are dressed in sort of more common clothes. Some of them have these big pointed hats and all these strange, elaborate costumes. It's crazy. And there's sort of all these big flashing signs and all these different buildings, and you guys are sort of all wandered around, kind of getting your bearing of the place. And we were gonna start with George, but we're not going to now. So, so armed with just the letter of acceptance, a little voucher that was included for a free wand, you guys have all sort of just departed across the place. And right now, Leku, Dante, and Julian are sort of inside the magical menagerie. And currently Dante is sort of standing there watching as this boy sort of rolls around in this big pen of cats they have just sort of sprawled out, just for everyone to play with the kitties. And then Leku is also in there sort of examining the bird cages.
Thank God I'm not allergic.
Wonder what would be the best bird for mail service.
So you're looking around, Leku, and you see that there's lots of ravens, there's owls, there's sort of crows, there's some even weirder birds. There's birds that have like strange colors of feathers. There's like red and like purple birds, sort of like in different cages all around.
Do I hear him say that because I feel like I would know what bird would be the best for mail carrier?
I'm gonna go look at the raven.
Go ahead and make a nature check with advantage.
I feel like that's right up my alley. Oh yeah, I know.
Oh shit! So Leku just out loud says, "I wonder what the best bird for carrying mail would be," and then you just sort of scream from across the place.
Yeah, I'm like
Owls!
beelining it towards him. Like I'm.
Do you jump? Do you just jump the fence?
Attempting to.
Go and make an athletics check to try to jump over the fence.
Oh fuck. Damn. Well, not bad.
So you sort of nimbly hop over to sprint past some guy who was just staring at you, and sort of run up to Leku and explain to him the vast intricacies of what makes owls so good at carrying mail.
Yeah, this is owls.
And
owls. You looking for owls, sir? Definitely owls.
This sort of freaks out Leku and kind of backs off a bit and they say that so loud. Apologies. Hi.
Hi.
You guys are sort of looking around. There's only like 3 other people in the shop. There's sort of the old woman who's sort of like haggardly like watching people like eagle-eyed to make sure they don't mess with the animals. There's one other girl who's just in the shop along with some other guy who was over by the cats. And besides that, the shop is completely empty besides the mass multitude of just animals that are in different cages.
Well, what about this? And Leku points up to the probably pitch black raven.
Well, I suppose you could train it to be a messenger bird, but you know, they get distracted by shiny things. So your mail might arrive a bit late.
That's fair. So what might your name be?
I am Julian. And
Julian.
I assume you're here because you crushed a weird orb thingy.
Yes.
Hope, because I'm so confused.
So, in the middle of your guys' conversation, just Julian from the rafters, you see this animal just sort of fall onto Leku's face.
Mm.
And it's just, it's like this just white blur that just sort of lands on his head, and sort of, as it just like gets ruffled in his hair, just like kicks him in the face and starts walking around on the cages.
Ow! That hurt! I look up at it, like, what just fucking just rummaged through my fucking face.
The cat winks at you and then starts sort of walking around on the tables, just sort of, strolling around like he owns the place.
I'm gonna try and look where it came from. What the fuck? Where did this dude come from?
It's not a cat, it's a bird. Run! You're all fucked.
What kind of cat is this?
You can go make a nature check if you want. Julia and Ken as well.
I'd love to.
Oh shit.
Oh, fucking hell, never mind. You're the cat master here.
There's 2 natural 20s with nature.
You guys know so much about the wild. Okay.
I got books,
So,
man.
this cat looks like it's almost sort of magically bred or something. It's like split down the middle in different sort of like variations of being like a half black and half white cat, and it has 2 different colored eyes, one green, one blue, and it's sort of just prancing around. And as far as breed goes, you don't know if it has a name, but something about the cat sort of exudes like an unnatural nature to it. It doesn't look like just a normal cat.
It looks adorable, and I want it.
I'm not sure if this is good or bad luck to come across this thing.
I don't care. I love it. I'll squeeze it, and I'll call it Freckles.
You see the old woman sort of see this. She goes, "Oh, son of a bitch!" And she sort of she waltzes over, sort of flips up the trapdoor on the table, and she's like, "I can't keep this damn thing in the cage!" And she walks over. She sort of like shoves this girl out of the way.
Whoa!
Not hard, but just like a light, gentle shove. And then
shoulder
she tries
checks.
to grab at the cat.
Oof.
Yeah, so she goes to leap at this cat, and the cat just sort of jumps across the cages, and then like it lands on your shoulder and starts like walking around the back of your head.
Cheeky little one, yeah.
And then the woman comes over and says, "All right, now, young boy, just hold very still." And she sort of reaches her arms up towards your face.
Leku goes into a little panic moment.
Right, so you just take it like a step back. She says, "No, come here. I need to put it back in its cage and freaking lock the thing with, I don't know." Just and she's like reaching for it, trying to get past your head to like get the cat.
Wait, can I get it off? Just wait.
Do you want to actually try to pick it up?
I try reaching back for it and like try and get it off my back, I guess.
Try to make a dexterity or acrobatics check. Oh yeah, the cat farts.
Oh.
You just you feel like it tries to wiggle, but you just sort of grab it and just pick it up with your hands. And the woman holds out her hands like expectantly to get the cat.
I just look at its adorable eyes and gently pass it over.
You hand it back to her?
Yeah.
Alright, so you hand her the cat.
So, is that cat for sale?
She says, "As soon as possible. I can never keep it down." And she sort of like, she walks off towards the stairs with the cat. And she doesn't stop talking, but she like stops talking to you, and like she's just mumbling to no one as she takes this cat and starts walking up the stairs.
I'll follow her.
Just silently behind her.
Yeah, just shyly.
All right. So she sort of walks up past like all these crates and barrels under the stairs filled with like different kinds of animal food, and she walks up to a bird cage that she has here that's empty, and she takes the cat and very gingerly, like very carefully carries it and then puts it in the cage and then slams the door really, really quickly.
How much would the cat be?
So you look up, you see that the price tag on this cage has been like nibbled up, and so you have no idea what the number says when all the rest of the animals have like price tags coming off of them. She sort of looks you up and down. She says, "You want the cat?"
Maybe.
Listen, you look like a nice boy. This cat is a bit of a handful, but I might be able to direct you to. And she starts pointing to some of the other cages. She starts pulling out. She says, "We have a whole pin of cats for people who want to play with them. We have lovely little purple cats that sparkle. We have," and she starts like listing off all these different like kinds of cats that they have.
Well, I'll go take a look at them then. And I just shyly walk away.
All right. She'll sort of follow you in a sense, just to go down the stairs, and then she sort of heads to go back behind her desk.
I'm just gonna go back over to the birds and start looking over them again.
Julian, during that whole debacle, you managed to notice one of the birds that kind of stuck out to you a little bit. It's an owl, just sort of sitting in one of the bigger cages, and it's an entirely red owl.
Oh hell yeah!
And its cage is sort of like the cages are sort of very weird. Some of them are almost like terrarium in nature, and this cage has sort of been outfitted with different like actual wooden branches, and so this one is like crouched on like a little miniature tree that's been set up in this place, like little miniature grass growing around in like the bottom of it. And it's the only bird in this big old cage.
Do I know of this kind of bird and why it would need something like this?
Go and roll another nature check.
Crit.
Nah.
If you,
My
okay,
luck's
yeah.
running out, man.
You'll never roll 20 again. That was the
No,
one.
that was the only one.
You have no idea. The nature of the bird, it looks like it might be of a magical variety, and maybe something about, like, maybe it needs the space or something. But some of the other bird cages, they're even smaller with, like, bigger birds in them, or like, they have, like, 2 birds in, like, the cages, and, like, some of them have, like, a lot of the same kind. This one just has the one bird, and it's just this big old empty cage. And the girl next to you seems to also be looking at it with a great deal of interest.
Yeah, I'm kind of mesmerized by it, and kind of at some point realize she's looking as well. Just, I'm sorry, you alright? That old lady was a bit.
She says, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for asking."
Do you know what kind of bird this is? I usually know these things, but this one's got me stumped.
She says, no, actually, I'm not really a bird person or like an animal expert or anything. I'm just looking around here.
Can I check if this has a price tag on it?
Oh yeah, you just look and you see that the cage sort of has just this big ol' 30 gold on the price tag.
Oof. Well, I like him, and he's the only one left.
At this point, she doesn't start walking away from you, but she does start to like look at the other cages, sort of like drifting in front of you to like.
Yeah.
She's still within like less than 5 feet, but she's like sort of her attention is elsewhere. She's looking at like a couple of the more white owls.
Yeah, I'm gonna go approach old Miss Miller.
Alright, so you just sort of waltz up
checking
to her.
my wallet. Yeah.
She says, "Oh, have you made a decision, dearie?" And she sort of eagerly leans forward.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the red owl. Dude, I haven't seen one of those before, and I usually know these things, but
She says, do you want to buy it? Is that what you're asking? Or do you want its life story?"
both, if at all possible.
She sort of gauges whether or not that was sarcastic or not, like, and she sort of shrugs and she says, It's a very rare breed of owl. We've only had a few in the store before, and just the cage is a rather. And she starts talking about the cage for like 5 minutes, talking about how the cage is like this like ecosystem thing where like it'll grow like the plants inside it will grow without sunlight, and like it will generate and like magically conjure like animals inside of it for the birds to like prey on, like little mice will just like naturally appear in the cage. She goes on for like way too long and not talking about the bird.
He's still kind of interested in that and doesn't actually interrupt her.
Leku, do you do anything in this amount of time?
Poking around the bird cages, and then, like, if one of the birds would let me, just give it a little scratch on the head, and then I'm gonna walk over to the cats and see what's going on there.
So basically, this big pin is like it's like a cute little customer service area or something. It's basically like a little fence where it has like a little gate on it, And you walk inside, and you can basically just lay around and like just play with the cats on like this little padded area.
Oh, it's a purple
And then
one.
each of the cats has like a little name on, like a little tag, and then next to the tag is the species of cat that it is, and then the price. And you see that like the cages around here are all where all the cat cages are, and like there's all these different arrays of cats. The cat that was upstairs is next to no cats. It's just up there by itself. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Yertle,
Yes.
you're
I'm
sort of just
still
walking
awake.
around this little marketplace here. You're not really sure what's going on.
Fuck.
You
Not much.
weren't expecting this kind of letter to just suddenly just appear in front of you. And you're really out of your element here. You've never been in this like civilized or like cultured of a place with all these humans and like elves walking around. And they're all sort of giving you weird looks because there's not a single other like turtle in this entire place. And the first shop to sort of catch your interest between these giant statues of hands is this place called Snip Trims. And it's got all these mannequins outside of all of these like people dressed in all these fancy clothing. Some of them have like elaborate haircuts sort of etched into them. And some of them are even moving mannequins. And they're sort of like unrobotically just like moving around, like posing in different like little extravagant like Vogue poses. It's kind of unsettling because they're all like mannequins with no faces, just kind of wearing the clothes.
Would my character even know what a mannequin is?
You would have no idea what a mannequin is. So you're just seeing these blank-faced people move around wearing clothes that all look like pretty nice clothes. They all look pretty stylish and like look very expensive from your understanding of clothes. You've never seen any kind of clothes like this.
During the tap on the shoulder, like, what are you doing? Where's your face?
There's no response. They don't say anything to you.
Can you speak, foul demon?
It starts doing a little like dance in front of you where it's like putting its hands on its hips and like moving around and showing off this like billowing purple cloak it's got on.
You're a fucking evil spirit. I'm gonna go through the door.
You're gonna walk inside?
Yeah.
Alright, so Yertle, you walk inside this place and it's this so much smaller than you imagined room. It's a square room, and in the very center is like this like raised platform. And you see inside is this very, very he's got very, very skinny jeans. And there's this very cheerful woman walking around sort of organizing the hats on the shelves, and she's got like this apron on. She's got like a lot of like utensils and little apron pockets. Neither of them notice you walk in, even though it looks like the guy is staring right at you, but he's like looking past you, just like staring off into space with his like hand on his chin like the thinker.
Okay, I'm going to pull out a plan. Use Druidcraft to light the front of it, and then use Druidcraft to put out fire what's on it, and take a puff. And be like, hello? You have faces unlike the demons, so use good, yeah? And take another puff. The blood.
The man suddenly sees you and says, "Oh my god!" And he snaps his fingers, and then the fire on the end of the blood just goes out. And he says, "Do not smoke in here!" And then he starts walking up towards you. And he's walking and he's moving his hips way too much. He's like wiggling back and forth as he walks up to you.
Do you have something wrong in your pants or something?
He takes no notice to the comment. He sort of like grabs you and like by the shell, and he sort of like hurls you up onto the podium in the center.
Okay, so onto the podium.
And so you're sort of like helpless as you just sort of spin up to the center, and he says, "What are we going to do with you?" And he says, "Debbie," and he snaps his fingers, and then the woman sort of looks around and turns up, and they start looking at you. The woman says, "Is he a turtle?" And he says, "Debbie, shut up!" And then he starts like walking around you, like getting a good look at you, like from every angle.
Can I do a ultimate trick here? I have seen mice before, yeah?
Oh,
Right.
mice? Yeah, you know what mice are, yeah.
I'm going to like use Druidcraft to turn into a mouse because I don't feel safe, and try scatter under the table where the robes are.
Alright, so just poof, you're a rat now. And you can control the rat now. It's sort of on the little
It's
pedestal.
the magic rat.
I'm going to try to hide under the table.
Alright, crap, I gotta whip out the old animal monster manual here.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, it's totally fine. I just wasn't expecting you to turn into an animal this soon.
Yeah, man. One man's like being
God.
weird. Put out my blunt. They have demons out the front of their shop.
So the guy, as soon as you turn into a rat, he just screams the most feminine scream you've ever heard come out of a person's mouth. Oh my gosh! A rat! And he sort of like jumps up. He jumps on top of the table as you run past him, and then you run under the table and he starts screaming even louder. And he says, "Debbie, kill him! Kill it! It's evil!" And then Debbie pulls out like a pair of like hair cutting scissors, and she starts like very
shit.
like nervously and like so uncertainly walking towards the table. Like I don't even see it. She's looking under to find you. Is Jeff there?
I am here, sorry.
Okay, yeah, Gale. You're standing in Boom Brooms, and outside of Boom Brooms is like the most extravagant setup you've ever seen in your entire life of like a store. It's got this gigantic Boom Broom sign, and it's got all these broomsticks that are flying around in midair in these like showcase windows. It's got all these pictures of people riding brooms, like athletes, like in like these like weird sports uniforms, and just like running around. And they're moving pictures, almost like little like television screens on like scrolls of like all of this stuff. And as soon as you walk inside, it's like this this immensely small and boring shop. And it's got this table lit up with all these different broomsticks sort of piled on across it. And then there's just this teenager there who looks like 15. And he's just standing there in like this plaid shirt and like khakis, and he's just staring at you as you walk in.
Hello there, irregularly dressed person. That name clearly seems like it's Bob. What is... how are you doing?
He says, "Hi."
So, what... I can see from your very, very, very extravagant outside, you guys are selling stuff. That flies. Nice. What are the prices and what are they like? Keep it nice, short.
So you're looking around, and all of these brooms have carved into like the very tips, like these brand names, and they all sort of escalate prices and like their like speed and like all these different things are like different variations of brooms.
I want this one.
They have like stats.
You want that one?
I just like how it looks.
So you see that one is called the Fiery Flyabout. It's got a price tag of 200 gold pieces.
Oof.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
I sort of already have a wand. How much would you buy the voucher for?
He says, "What?"
Like, I have a free wand voucher, and I really don't have a use for it because I kind of already have a wand. Do you know where I could maybe sell this, and how much it might be worth?
Says, I already have a wand. I don't need a voucher. I had a voucher. What do you need to go get a wand? I can point you to where the wand shop
I
is.
have a wand. You're gonna pull out a wand, but I also still have this because that was something. Because this came from somewhere else. He's holding the wand, and I don't really need this.
Why?
But I do
why
want
do you
that.
have a wand if you need a wand? Did you already find a wand? Why do you want a wand?
I love this guy.
I don't want a wand. I want to sell this. I want to buy that.
If you want to
fancy
sell
looking
your
broom.
wand, you need to go to. I don't buy wands. I sell brooms here.
This is a porn
Okay,
show.
never mind.
He says, "I get off at 3. Are you gonna buy a broomstick?"
Okay, how much is this one?
That one?
Yeah.
He says, read the tag, and then on the tag you see this one is called an oak shaft, and it's only 10 gold pieces.
How much is this one? The next one.
This one?
Yeah.
That one is a moon trimmer, and it's sort of got like it's like this brown plain broom, but all along it's got like these like silver inlays that like seem to glow, and it is 180 gold.
Nope. This thing is 10 gold? How shitty is it?
He says, that one? It's pretty shitty, man. It only goes about like 20 feet per turn to speak in a weird system of measurement. And it can only carry 100 pounds of weight.
It literally can't carry me. Okay, guess not.
He says, well, I mean, you can still ride it, it's just not going to go very fast.
It's gonna go even slower?
He says, maybe about like 15 feet per turn if you were to weigh more than 100 pounds.
Okay. Maybe. I will be back here, maybe. Have a good day, Sir Bob.
He says, my name is Thomas.
Your name is Bob and you will accept that. Bye.
Jesus.
You don't have any way to confirm this, but he does kind of accept it, and he looks really sad about it. Alright,
Okay,
meanwhile, Alesia.
Why, yes.
So, you're here with your parents, and it's been kind of awkward because, you're not really sure what the heck is going on, no one's explained anything to you, and your dad has been in complete bewilderment of how cool this all is, as he's been, like, looking around at everything. Your mom has been stone-faced, not saying anything, but looking around, giving everything, like, a really harsh expression. And they both initially walked into just the first place that said the word pub in it. And you sort of been in the Pixi pub. And you see that there's, like, all of these fairy lights. First of all, do you see the map right now? Are you down by it?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, I thought I unmuted myself when the line.
Okay.
I'm just so
Yeah,
happy
no, so
Tafford's
there's all
back.
these, like, fairy lights, all these, like, sparkles, and, like, all these magical, like, waves of light just sort of traveling through the place. You see there are a bunch of teenagers who all have drinks. You find that questionable, but then as you get over to the menu with your parents and your sort of robotic direwolf sort of trotting between your legs, you see that the menu also includes a variety of sodas and kids' drinks, along with, like, an adult menu that has, like, more alcoholic beverages.
Trafford!
And you do see a man with the name tag that says Trafford. He's got, like, this pair of, like, Tinkerbell fairy wings on his back. He's got the mustache, and he's got this bow tie, and he's walking around giving people drinks.
Lazy's gonna stare at him for like a minute, like hand on her mouth, trying not to laugh really hard.
Make a charisma check to see if you can manage not to laugh.
I wonder if Percy would remember Trafford.
Well, this is alternate timeline.
I
This
like how Trafford,
True.
like, he's got to look as if he knows what he is. Like, he just knows.
You don't have advantage. You're gonna want to toggle that off, but you rolled 15 first place. So, so yeah, you managed to sort of stifle the laughter. You hold your hand up to your mouth, but it's not visible.
I wasn't trying to hide it. It's more kind of the courtesy, but you're obviously laughing sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just like you hold your mouth up, but there's no chuckle comes up. But he does see you and he winks.
Okay, she's gonna look away really awkwardly.
Does she blush?
No, it's kind of more like, oh, this is creepy.
Strange danger.
A man in fairy wings has just winked at me. I don't feel comfortable.
Trafford sort of walks over to your parents and he says, "What can I get you guys to drink?"
So Percy's going to. He would not have not looked at the menu at all right now. He would have been staring at him, probably with the same reaction as Alesia, which is how fucking stupid this is. But he'll look up at it.
Oddly enough, Trafford gives Percy the same wink.
Percy's gonna try and wink back.
All right, I'm gonna make a charisma check for Percy.
Oh, I remember that's high.
It's very high.
I hope he gets a -1.
Oh,
Dude,
your boy.
Oh my goodness! Percy just like everything else fades away, and Percy just like gives like all sound stops as Trafford is fixated on Percy as he gives the world's first perfect wink.
The only sound
This
is
is
like
the
a
movie called
heartbeat.
Undell.
It's so beautiful that Trafford is taken aback. Trafford takes 2 points of damage
Oh,
as this happens, and Undell just sort of mutters under her breath in like kind of a joking but still kind of serious way. You never wink at me like that.
wow.
And then Trafford is flabbergasted. He starts. You see a single tear roll down his cheek.
And then just to add insult to injury, he's gonna just give a small wave with his with his with his right arm, right? Yeah, right arm, which has the ring on it,
Mm-hmm.
with just sort of a shit-faced grin on his with a shit-faced grin.